Isn't it great to be back at the Pioneer? Back in the day, it was the Pioneer. So I want to talk to you about our currency. What's up with that? Who prints our money anyway? It's plastic. Is it outsourced to China? It's so thin they stick together. You're given 60, but you think you're given 20? Let Quebec print the money. Watch how easy they separate. Problem with living in Quebec? We're the heaviest tax in the country. We pay 3 taxes. GST, PST, and MONEST. Went to a strip joint last night for tits and jiggles. And we're pretty liberal here in Quebec. We call it a lap dance. Ontario, not so much. There it's a slap dance. Meanwhile, in some remote town in Quebec, it's called le clap dance. Montreal is probably has the prettiest women in the world. But what I really like about the Montreal women is they are game for anything. I used to go out with the girl, like to get it in the ear. In the ear! Every time I went to put it in her mouth, she turned her head. Was at Tim Hortons drive-thru. And making myself laugh. And nobody is packing a Mensa membership card at Tim Hortons. I go through the drive-thru, I said, give me 5 extra large coffees. I get to the window, I'm clearly alone. She goes, do you want to trade with that? No, don't even put lids, I'll just juggle them on the way home. Coming out of the parking lot, put the radio on, the announcer goes, suicide bomber in Russia today blew up a bus and killed 6 people. And nobody's claimed responsibility. Nobody's claimed responsibility? How can he? He's in a million pieces. What do you want to do? Come on, pull yourself together. Tell him you did it. He's a little too scatterbrained for that. Cop pulled me over for talking on the cell phone. I said, okay, let's talk myself out of this one. I said, I wasn't talking on my cell phone. He says, well, what were you doing then? I was taking a picture of my ear. $150 later. I'm at a friend's place for dinner. She says, his daughter goes, I saw you on the train last week. Well, why didn't you say hello? Well, you were just getting off. I should stop doing that on the train. I was in St. Louis last summer, right around the time of the unrest. And I'm at a busy intersection waiting for the cross signal. Now in St. Louis, the lights are audio and visual. So there's a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I said to Buddy, what's that? He goes, well, that's for the blind people. You let blind people drive here? No sooner were the words out of my mouth, he never missed a beat. Yep, they drive our city buses too. Only killed 4 people last year. That's less than the cops. Oh, too soon, was it? Okay. I'll shelf that one for a while then, okay? I'll bring it out next August. You know, where was I again? Were you paying attention? Where was I? I forgot where I was. Totally forgot. No idea. Were you taking notes? Weren't taking notes?
But that last one was good.
Okay, another thing that I suffer from is dyslexia. And for me, what happens, I take the words and I put them backwards, and the letters are backwards. If I'm going to read a book, I got to read it like basically in the mirror. And it affects my speech too. Sometimes I get my words mixed up. That's the whole truck and trouble with me. You don't like it, sis on you, pisser, and go buck a buffalo while you're at it. I'm in a department store. Girl comes on, she goes, "We have a blue slash special on smudge and farties." It was love at first sound. I got to meet her. She has lunch between 1 and 12. Now there's a fuster cluck. You ever wonder how porn stars get their name? They take the name of their first pet and the first street they lived on. So for example, my first pet, we called him Rusty, and we lived on Swallow. Rusty Swallow, a bit of like a cougar doing a remake on Deep Throat. When we got married, our first dog we called Buster. Oh my God, here it comes. And we lived in the apartments on Hyman. Buster Hyman. Self-explanatory. Now I got an uncle that's a little overweight. Actually, he's very overweight. He looks like he's swallowed a Volkswagen. We're flying out west to a family reunion, and the airline makes him buy 2 tickets. So we get on the plane. He's got 19B and 14C. What was Air Canada thinking? He's going to need a split personality and out-of-body experience to make this work. I'm keeping a close eye on the campaign trail in the States. And I pray to God that Hillary doesn't get in, because the last thing we need is another Bush in the White House. I used to think I had a drinking problem until they came out with the Inspire card. Before the card, I'd just take my cart, load it with booze, get to the counter. I'd take my 2 little bottles that they had there for the drive home. Yeah. And then when I got home, I got the serious business on the 40-pounders. So they came out with this Inspire card to join the Frequent Drinkers Club, which I did on day 1 at 8 a.m. Gave them my email address, checked out, away we go. I'm in line one day, I have 8 people in front of me, and they're all giving their emails. What a frickin' circus between the French and the English, the G's and the J's and the hat signs, and like, oh my God, I just, the stress level was going so high. I said, I need a couple of drinks right now. Now I'm drinking in the store. So the Gazette put out a story on the front page, and it says you gotta buy 200 bottles of wine for a $10 gift, for a $10 like credit. So I'm at the cash one day, and the lights are going off, alarms, bells, flashes, everything else. Congratulations, Mr. Wiley. You have $1,000 now in SAQ money. I didn't think I had a drinking problem, but the card is hinting otherwise. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go on the wagon for a week or 2, see what happens. And the money that I save, I'll buy a car or something. After 7 days, the SAQ was, okay, he's dead. They sent my family a sympathy card. I got some vacation time coming up, so I decided to go to the French islands. Ile Bizarre, Ile Perrot. Now, my 93-year-old grandmother from Ireland was visiting on my wife's side. She's sitting on the edge of the bed. I'm walking down the aisle, I'm looking at her, and she has a very puzzled look on her face. She goes, JB, can you help me with my harness? Now, I'm pretty sure a harness isn't some kind of a sleep apparatus, and I think she's referring to her bra, but there's absolutely no way in God's creation I'm going to help her with that maneuver. So I said, listen, sweetheart, I have a lot of practice taking them off. I don't know how to put them back on. I sent Sharon in. So for the rest of the week, every time she addressed me, it was, yes, your harness. So you probably can't tell by looking at me, but I had testicular cancer. And the way I found out, I woke up one morning and one of my balls, honest to God, was the size of a basketball. And if I had known Tom Brady was so good at deflating balls, I would have gone to see him. But I said, okay, you know what? I think there might be a problem here. We better go and see a doctor. And get the wheelbarrow. So he confirmed that. He goes, yeah, you have testicular cancer. I said, okay, now what? We're going to remove it. What? You're going to what? We're going to remove it. Now, there's about to be a major disturbance with Big Jim and the twins here. One of those boys is going to lose a roommate. And they're tight. And they do everything together, hopefully at the same time. Then he says you got to shave. Now, I am clearly from a generation before boyzillions and manscaping. So you know, south of the border, I'm sporting a cross between ZZ Top and Duck Dynasty. Every time I unzip, you hear, I got no idea what to use. I don't know what to... But I said, I'm not going to use the weed whacker, that's for sure. I grabbed anything with a blade. I went to town on myself, and I got some serious gashes, but nothing got severed. So the doc still has work to do. But now the elephant is no longer hiding in the bush. I look in the mirror, it was like I was watching Discovery Channel. Look, there he is. He's out in the open. So I'm on the gurney, he's taking me down the hall. He goes, how old are you? This guy's a hit, man. Gonna take out one of my boys and he wants to know how old I am? I told him to count the rings around my trunk. He said, you got any kids? I said, yeah, 2. Good. Because when I get in there, I may have to clean house and take them both out. Wow. Well, finally some good news. So it's all said and done. I wake up and the first thing I said to him was, okay, doc, how many did you take? He goes, just 1. Okay, now what? Ball's in your court. I had a ball. Thanks very much for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your evening.